Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, empowering women in business through thought-provoking interviews and insights. Embrace your authentic power, explore the impact of your story, and discover how writing your best-selling book can amplify your message, authority, and the 3 I's: impact, influence, and income. Let each episode guide you towards brilliance in minutes. This is your host, Seema Giri. We talk about mindset, we talk about strategy, and we talk about scaling, visibility, and confidence. But there's something we don't talk about enough. And that is about how our body carries all of it. And yet, every single decision we make is filtered through our bodies. For me, that realization didn't come from a book, it came from being forced to stop. And when I was navigating 3 autoimmune conditions, I was still building. I was still mentoring. I was still showing up. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But on the inside, I felt like there was a tsunami going on. And what I didn't understand at that time was that tension in my body was influencing my clarity, my patience, even on how I made decisions. Because when your nervous system is overloaded, your thinking shifts, your way of living shifts. And that's where this conversation begins. Hi, this is your friend Seema, and you're listening to Break Free to Brilliance podcast. If you're tuning in while you're juggling responsibilities, maybe you're leading a team, building something meaningful, or taking care of your family, or maybe just having a busy day, I'm really glad you're here. Today's conversation is a quieter than strategy, but just as powerful. When the body is ignored, it doesn't protest loudly at first. It whispers. A little tightness in the shoulders, a little shoulder patience, a little more reactivity in meetings, and maybe a little less clarity. And if we push our body long enough, if we override it long enough, that whisper becomes chronic tension, physically and emotionally. And tension shapes our decisions and how we live. So, as you listen today, I want you to notice something. Notice how your body feels while you're listening. Not what you agree with, not what you disagree with, but maybe what feels familiar. So just notice. And if if conversations like this support how you think, how you build, and how you navigate through change, make sure you hit that subscribe button so these episodes can continue to support you and meet you where you are. By the end of this conversation, you'll see how physical alignment quietly shapes your life and how you make decisions, and why integration isn't just philosophical, it's physiological. My guest today is Dr. Brett Hill. Dr. Brett Hill is a chiropractor, speaker, and a posture expert dedicated to helping people restore alignment, reduce stress, and allow their body to better support the life it's carrying. Through his clinical work and educational platform, he focuses on practical strategies that improves posture, nervous system regulation, and long-term physical resilience, especially for high-performing professionals who carry significant responsibilities. Welcome, Dr. Brett. So happy to have you on our podcast today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
So, what really drew me to your work, Brett, isn't just your posture tips. It's that deeper understanding that the body isn't separate from how we lead ourselves, how we decide, and how we show up.
I hear that all the time. Like people, when I'm explaining posture to them, what it really is, the deep meaning with it, they're always like, man, I never thought of it in that way. I didn't realize it was related to so much, but it makes perfect sense. And I think that's one of the big fallacies out there, a big misunderstanding is, oh yeah, my posture's not good. I need to just sit up straight. But
Mm,
yet we can correlate posture when we see someone that has poor posture, maybe not in themselves, but they see it in someone that's elderly, that's walking down the street hunched over, or they see someone sitting in their way they hold their body, they can tell that's not what I want to be when I'm older, or that's looks like that person's having a rough day. How can we tell that? It's because of their posture. There's this direct correlation that affects how we see ourselves, how we feel, and the health aspects of it. Really, is just foundational to our neurology of how our brain is sensing the input from our body and the output, and that over time shows up in our posture, whether good or bad.
Interesting. And I think that's one of the things we take for granted. But before we dive deeper, Brett, tell our audience what prompted you to go in this line of work and really look at, deeply more into postures.
Well, I think it starts. I've always, when I was younger, trying to decide what I wanted to do. I originally thought I was going to go to medical school, and I just always had a desire to help people. I was very athletic growing up. I played any sport I could that was offered in the school. I was just active, wanted to do stuff, and looking at helping people. My mom had some health issues, some autoimmune problems, and some other things, just chronic disease problems, and excuse me. And so I knew I wanted to solve these. I thought, I'm going to go to med school. I'm going to fix all these problems. And what I realized is a lot of these chronic issues is just the protocol of here's the drug for that. And then you have these symptoms, here's the drug for that. And while the medical system's amazing, if I need emergency care, I break an arm or I need to be put back together, it's incredible. But a lot of the chronic things and some of the things where we don't know how to handle it as well. We try to force it on these drugs or other things to control it when the body knows how to heal it and wants to be healthy when we allow it, when we give it the right input. And so it drew me to a different avenue and was drawn to chiropractic. And going to chiropractic school, I was a little disenchanted because I thought, wow, I'm going to learn what's the most healthiest thing. What can I do? And I realized there's a lot of variances. There's a lot of different philosophies out there and methodologies. And so it drew me to really get deeper into the neurology of why is our body healing when someone gets an adjustment or they do a movement, an exercise in this way, but they don't only feel better in their neck or their back, but they also have less as a reflex, less stress, or they feel more energized or things like that. So I did extra neurology training and different things where it made sense. And it really drew me to dial in how can I help people in the fastest way possible with the most effect on their health in the shortest amount of time. So it really over years of finding a lot of the same chronic deep-seated weaknesses in people's posture that I realized we're doing the same type of strengthening or neural work to reconnect people's brain to how they should be moving and supporting their body so they can get rid of the lower back issues, the headaches, the jaw clenching, the plantar fasciitis. They are all things related deeper down in the nervous system to the postural collapse. And so as I found that, I started my clinic with zero patients, just myself, because I'm like, the knowledge I have, I know I can help people on a deeper level.
Mm.
And as we grew, to where we are now, I developed this system where it's a 10-week program we take people through in their posture to get at that foundational support core system, connecting their brain to how their body should be supporting itself and moving. And it honestly addresses so many of people's issues because of how they just have no connection to their body. And so we tweaked it a bit. We were doing this and that with different patients and different conditions. And we've dialed it into this 10-week program where we take people through. And it's amazing how at the root of a lot of people's problems, when we fix posture, they get better. And so it's pretty cool that way. And then we decided, well, we can help a lot more people by taking it online. And so now we can do an assessment virtually with someone using an app that connects to our clinic. And then we meet with them once a week on a video call and we help them feel where that subtle support should be. It's different than You might find videos on YouTube or different things that say, okay, do this with your shoulders. Oh, this is going to fix your posture in 10 days. Oh, this is going to, like, there's so many things out there you can find. The
Mm.
toughest thing with fixing our posture, our brain is using it all the time without us even knowing it. So you go to fix it and you're compensating already because your brain doesn't know how to fix something it doesn't know is broken or it doesn't know how to activate. So it'll use all the compensation muscles to try to correct something that it's not connected to.
So that sounds really fascinating. I just want to dial it back a little bit. So this is kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg? So does your posture get bad just because you're not paying attention to it and just leading life through it? Or is it because of all the stresses that you're having that gets added on top of it that, just trying to see, helping our audience understand, or is it just both?
There you go. You nailed it. It is both. And I'll explain why a little bit because it's the it's neuroplasticity. This word is really important to understand for your posture because our brain will just adapt to whatever we tell it to do. So in our day and age, especially now, we are on computers more than ever, but even for our youth that are sitting in schools and they're sitting all day studying, they have recess time to go play. Well, what do? These teenagers or adolescents will go and sit with their friends and then play on their phones and look down
Mhm.
all the time. And so we get this
Mhm.
pattern of telling our brain that, hey, we're going to look down, we're going to sit, we're going to let the chair do the work, and it'll just adapt to those things. So yes, in a subtle way, we're chronically doing these things and telling our brain this is where we should be, and it'll adapt to that unknowingly, just little bits at a time. But then there's other instances where you might get in a car accident, have a whiplash injury, or have a knee injury, and now you're tilting your hips. And so posturally, we change because of trauma or because of again our brain's trying to adapt to that trauma or to that injury, and we hold ourselves in a different way. Or if someone scares you, it's like, whoa. But what if we have chronic stress? We hold that in our body and we just again our brain adapts to like, okay, I guess this is going to be normal because we're holding it this way all the time.
Mhm.
And so it's a combination of both, but it's really the nervous system adapting to all of those things, bigger stressors or just micro to what we're doing day in, day out, because that's what we're telling it to do.
I would encourage our listeners to also feel how they are when they're lying down for bed. I've been noticing last couple of days that even though I'm supposed to be relaxed, my body is still tensed up. And I have to intentionally say, okay, body, now you can let yourself go and just totally relax. Do you find a lot of people are going through that? Like they don't have that awareness. They don't even notice that I'm still carrying that in bed.
All the time. It's funny. I will, be palpating the shoulders or something, and I'll ask people, okay, just relax. They're like, I am relaxed. I'm like, okay, let's take some breaths here. Let's just mentally sense the body. I want you to try to feel the floor or the table you're laying on, things like that. And they're like, and then finally it'll drop. And they're like, man, I don't even know what relaxed feels like because I just hold this all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I wasn't relaxed. And so literally there's a lot of people nowadays that are holding it constantly. We are constantly stressed. We're constantly in this brain overload of go, 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 go. What's next? What's next? And we don't pay attention to what that's doing to our physical body. If someone scares you, if something is stressful or something is like, I got to get ready, will change the way we hold our body. So if we don't ever pay attention or we don't relax that out, we're going to maintain this state. One of the most impactful things about posture too is, we think about the stressors that we have in our head of like, I've got it, that there's the next deadline, there's the next deadline, there's the financial things I've got to take care of, whatever it might be, the relationship. We see that as like this mental stressor, but that affects our physical. And so to change how we respond to that mental stressor or that emotional stressor, we can actually change our physical response to have a different outlook on that stressor versus the other way around. So where we think, okay, I need to just take care of all these to-do lists, or I need to go to counseling to help calm me down. While those things are all good, what if we also focused on changing our physical control of how we respond to that stress, we'll start to recognize, oh, I'm stressing here. I don't need to, like, I can get back into control. I can start to control my posture in a way that is healthy. That changes the brain's outlook of that stress. It actually changes what's firing in our brain, and we process stress differently by addressing that postural change, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So, Brett, what are some, like you said, we are holding years of tension in our bodies, right? Which now is feeling totally normal, so we don't even notice. What are some things you can tell our listeners to maybe either symptoms or signals so they know, okay, my posture is not good and I'm holding the stress and I'm not relaxed.
Yeah, and I think it kind of blows people away when I explain how so many things can actually be related to posture. Most people think, yeah, I've got tension headaches, or I got tight shoulders, or I got tension in my neck. Yes,
Mm,
oftentimes those are related to poor posture. But what people don't realize is chronic lower back issues, rib problems, breathing issues, migraines, jaw clenching,
mm,
vertigo, dizziness, plantar fasciitis, collapsed feet, balance issues. These are all things that deep-seated are related to postural collapse. For example, as we get drawn into the computer and our head slowly goes forward, and we think this is minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day. So we don't just all of a sudden notice that we're going forward. So we slowly, slowly creep forward. Well, our brain will naturally adapt so that we're looking straight by tightening up these muscles at the base of our skull. What that does, these are a lot of receptors here to just keep our head level that coordinate with our ear canals and our spine and our visual system to keep us from falling over, to keep us upright against gravity. So as our head goes forward, it changes these muscles that are normally supposed to just support us in that balance. Now they're tight all the time, which changes some of the jaw muscles and our breathing airways. But then
mm,
what happens is our lower back and our hips collapse forward, and we put more weight on the toes. We spread our feet out wider to increase that balance. That center of gravity has shifted forward, so we're increasing our base of support. Now we get this lower back issue, sciatic problems, yeah, knee issues, ankle problems, foot problems, and all of this is just adaptations the body's making to poor posture. So the first thing is people have adapted to this and they don't even notice. So having someone take a picture of them in your neutral position from the front
mm,
and the side. And this is what we do in our analysis. The first thing we want to do is give awareness, because people think, yeah, my posture's bad. They have no idea where it should actually be or what it should actually feel like. So when we take the picture, they're like, wow, I didn't realize my shoulder was high. I didn't realize I was that far off. I didn't, they don't notice. And then as soon as they see that, they have that visual aspect of themselves. Guess what? When they're out walking, they think, oh yeah, I'm starting to feel that. I'm starting to connect the brain to things they just realized, and they start noticing it in other people. So that's one of the good things you can do is have someone take a picture. You can even download the app that we use, where they can upload those pictures and we analyze it, and we can go over a video call what that report looks like. And that's one of the
mm,
first steps in our program. Another way that can help people just get an awareness of where they're at. Balance is a really great thing. And so we use a wall or like a door or a door frame to have a straight gauge to line up to. And so what I tell people is, and one of the first exercises we give, which love to give your audience three free exercises that they can start doing now, just 5 minutes a day to start seeing a change. And these are the first three
wonderful.
things we give in our program. The one deals with the head position. Two deals with the core or the pelvic floor activation, and three is balance. And so, to get a sense of where they're at, is to stand against a wall with their foot a couple inches off, and then their hips, their shoulder, and their head back against the wall. And if they can easily line everything up and they're looking straight ahead, they're likely pretty good. Typically, what they'll find is they're looking down their nose because their head has to tilt to get back against the wall. They might feel
Mm,
their lower back arch more because of that, and wanting to come off of the wall. And that just gives a sense of where if that's difficult you know you need to do something about your posture. And
Okay.
then from there, what we tell people is line up over one leg, try to be nice and tall through the head, balance on one leg, and come off. So if your foot is 2 inches off the wall, bring your shoulders, your head, your hips 2 inches off the wall, and balance for 10 to 20 seconds. And then go back against the wall and see what touches. So what we see a lot of times is people will be balancing on one leg, they come forward, and then they go back and their shoulders hit, and then they have to bring their butt back and they're pushing to bring their head back. They should hit all at the same time.
Okay.
So that's another gauge that people can do to just sense how straight or aligned they are in a very basic or simple way.
No, those are great three tips. So I hope our audience members make sure you try that out and see where you stand. Awareness is the first thing. If nothing else, if you don't have anything other to take away, then even just this is to just feel how you're holding your tension in your body too. Are you relaxed or are you like up like this, all the tense up all the time? Is your shoulder up all the time? I've been really paying attention to this, and it's really making a difference. So, Dr.
Well,
Brett,
and
do you
that's
go ahead?
sorry, I was just going to say when just that paying attention can make a big difference.
Yes.
That's the key. Our program, we designed this and we made it 10 weeks for a reason, but we designed it in a way that it's a little bits make a big difference. It
Yes.
is not something that you're going to need to go to the gym. You don't need to change your clothes to work out. You're not going to get sweaty. It is something where we want you doing a little bit, like 1 minute of one of the exercise things in the morning, and then incorporate it just randomly throughout your day to activate the brain, to sense it, to feel it. So it's just tiny little things that don't take a lot of time, but really add up. Consistency is the key for those. It's amazing. Anybody that has done our program and actually done what we've asked them to do has gotten not only better with their initial problem, but like they've seen improvements in every aspect of their health. We have yet to find someone that has gone through it, done it, and been like, yeah, I guess
You
it
did.
maybe helped, or yeah, I didn't see much of a change. It's it's great, and it's because it works. It
Mm.
works, and it really gives people a sense of being stronger, being in control of how they feel. Like when we have good posture, we feel better about ourselves. We feel more confident. But a lot of chronic injuries or pain problems, we just had someone recently where they were like, man, I didn't expect all of these things like my shoulder. I don't have the headaches anymore, and I'm started running again where I wasn't before. And so it doesn't take a lot. Just the little things really do add up.
They certainly do. And it is these small things that really add up. So you owe it to yourself and you owe it to everyone around you to look better, feel better. And when you do that, you'll be more fun to be around and you'll make better decisions. You'll lead a much better life. And that is the ultimate goal. So what really stands out to me in this entire conversation is this. Alignment isn't just about looking confident, but it's really a necessity if you really want to lead a good, healthy life and pain-free life, right? And be able to lead, be able to make better decisions for better outcomes. So when you feel good, your body holds the score. It's not just a book, but your body really holds the score. And it holds all that wisdom also that you need to know to lead a better life. I know it from experience. And the reason I'm interviewing, we have Dr. Brett on the call today is because we, both of us, don't want you to find out the hard way like we found out, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
learn from our experiences and lead a better life. So here's the question I want you to sit with. So this is for our listeners. Is your body supporting the decisions and the lifestyle that you want to have right now? Or is it quietly influencing you in ways that you haven't even considered and haven't even realized? So I encourage you to take up on Dr. Brett's 10-week program, and his information is going to be in the show notes. So make sure you look at that. Dr. Brett, any final words for our listeners?
No, just that I guess one thing is time goes so fast. So posture is something where it takes time to get into poor posture, but it also takes time to correct it. So start doing the little things, like just do a little thing to help your health today. Whether you do our program or not, just even get those 3 free videos and start with that. They're free just to change little aspects of your life will make big differences and big dividends later down the road so that you can, like you said, enjoy the things you want to enjoy, be
Yeah.
yeah, be the person you want to be, and those little things make big differences. So
So, because it takes time, there's no better time to start than now. Remember, your body is not separate from your brilliance, it carries it. So, pay attention to what it's telling you. Until next time, this is Seema and Dr. Brett. Thank you so much for being part of our community and supporting our listeners.
thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I love our conversation, and hopefully your listeners got some benefit out of it. Love to help more people, and thanks for what you're doing.
So, listeners, stay aligned, stay aware, and keep stepping into your brilliance. And I want to take a moment to mention that the content shared in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. My guests and I share personal experiences and real life examples that have helped us live our best lives, much like friends sharing stories. While we strive to provide valuable information, it's important to consult with professionals for advice tailored to your individual circumstances. Thank you for being part of our community and thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, your story is your strength. Until next time, stay inspired and keep making a difference. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Break Free to Brilliance podcast. And I hope you had some key takeaways that you can implement right away. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below. We'll see you again for the next episode.